Many diabetic patients have this question. After being diagnosed with diabetes, does it mean they should avoid fruits entirely? Indeed, it is commonly believed that fruits are sweet and therefore must be high in sugar. If diabetic patients eat fruits, it might be difficult to control their blood sugar levels. However, fruits are rich in vitamins, trace elements, dietary fiber, and other nutrients, which have many health benefits. Doctors often recommend people eat more fruits. But for diabetic patients, can they really eat fruits? As a doctor, I want to tell everyone that although diabetic patients need to control their diet, it does not mean they should go to extremes in their eating habits. Many patients suffer from malnutrition due to excessive dietary restrictions, which actually harms their health. 1. Diabetic patients can eat fruits. These 5 common fruits are delicious, raise blood sugar slowly, and can be eaten with confidence. Firstly, diabetic patients are not completely prohibited from eating fruits. The following 5 common fruits are not only tasty, but also raise blood sugar slowly, so diabetic patients can eat them with confidence. 1. Tomatoes. Before introducing them, we need to understand the concept of the glycemic index. The glycemic index is a measure of how a food causes a rise in blood sugar levels after eating. It indicates the speed and ability of a food containing 50 grams of carbohydrates to raise blood sugar. Simply put, it is a measure of how a food raises blood sugar after being absorbed. Different foods have different glycemic indices. Generally, glucose is set as the standard with a glycemic index of 100. Foods with a glycemic index above 70 are considered high glycemic index foods, while foods with a glycemic index of 55 or below are considered low glycemic index foods. Foods with a glycemic index between these two values are considered moderate glycemic index foods. The glycemic index of tomatoes is about 16, making it a low glycemic index food. For diabetic patients, tomatoes not only do not significantly raise blood sugar, but are also rich in vitamins, lycopene, trace elements, and dietary fiber, all of which are beneficial to health. 2. Cucumbers. Some diabetic patients may not like the sour taste of tomatoes. Cucumbers are a good alternative. The glycemic index of cucumbers is only 15, making them a low glycemic index food. Diabetic patients often need to limit their intake of staple foods, which may make them feel hungry. Eating some cucumbers at this time can increase satiety without raising blood sugar, making it a good choice. 3. Cherries. Cherries are loved by many for their delicious taste. A diabetic patient once asked me, "Doctor, I love eating cherries the most. Now that I have diabetes, can I still eat cherries?" The answer is yes. The glycemic index of cherries is only 20, making them a low glycemic index food. Cherries are rich in anthocyanins, dietary fiber, vitamins, and trace elements. Generally speaking, diabetic patients can eat 10 to 15 cherries at a time without any problems. It is recommended not to exceed 15 cherries. Although cherries have a low glycemic index, they should still not be eaten in excess. 4. Apples. Apples are known as peace fruits and wisdom fruits. The Compendium of Materia Medica, a Chinese herbal medicine book, records that apples can generate fluids, moisten the lungs, relieve summer heat, stimulate appetite, and sober up. They can treat muscle and bone pain. Apples are rich in various nutrients, including vitamin C, potassium, and dietary fiber. Even the peel contains polyphenol. Compared to the previous fruits, the glycemic index of apples is slightly higher, reaching 36, but it is still a low glycemic index food. Diabetic patients can eat apples, but it is recommended to eat only half. 5. Grapefruit. The glycemic index of grapefruit is only 25, also making it a low glycemic index food. Grapefruit is rich in nutrients, not inferior to other fruits. The only small drawback may be that the peel of grapefruit is relatively difficult to peel, but this does not prevent it from being an ideal fruit choice for diabetic patients. 2. These 5 fruits are high in sugar. Diabetic patients should avoid them as much as possible to prevent blood sugar spikes. Although some fruits are friendly to diabetic patients, some fruits are high in sugar and may cause blood sugar to rise rapidly. Here are 5 fruits that diabetic patients should try to avoid. 1. Durian. Many people believe that the glycemic index of durian is only around 40, so eating it won't affect blood sugar levels for diabetic patients. This is completely wrong. Durian has a sugar content of over 26% and contains a large amount of fat. It is a high-sugar, high-fat, high-calorie fruit. A durian weighing about 6 pounds contains around 4 pounds of sugar. Once a diabetic patient eats it, their blood sugar levels will rise rapidly in a short time. 2. Longan. The sugar content of longan reaches about 22%, making it a very high glycemic index fruit. It is also considered a warm-natured fruit. Diabetic patients who eat longan may experience a rapid rise in blood sugar and may also suffer from symptoms of iron deficiency and internal heat. Additionally, dried longan, also known as longan fruit, has a sugar content of up to 25%, and its glycemic index even exceeds that of longan. Diabetic patients should also avoid eating it. 3. Lychee. Lychee has a sugar content of over 16%. Every 100 grams of lychee contains about 16.6 grams of sugar, making it a warm-natured fruit. Diabetic patients who eat lychee may experience heat symptoms and metabolic disturbances, leading to a rapid rise in blood sugar in a short time. This is especially harmful to overweight diabetic patients, as eating lychee may cause severe metabolic disorders and pose significant health risks. 4. Grapes. Grapes have a sugar content of about 10%, and their glycemic index is relatively high. They are also a high-calorie fruit, with 100 grams of grapes containing about 50 calories. Especially varieties like rose grapes and Kyoho grapes have a sugar content of over 12%. The sugar in grapes mainly consists of fructose and glucose, which are absorbed very quickly by the body, causing blood sugar fluctuations after consumption. 5. Melons. Although various melon fruits contain a large amount of dietary fiber and water, which can enhance digestive and metabolic speed, they also have high sugar content. Watermelon, honey melon, muskmelon, and honeydew melon all have high sugar content and are quickly absorbed by the body, easily causing blood sugar fluctuations. Conclusion. In summary, diabetic patients are not completely prohibited from eating fruits. They just need to choose the right fruits. Low glycemic index fruits like tomatoes, cucumbers, cherries, apples, and grapefruit can satisfy their cravings while effectively controlling blood sugar levels. At the same time, high-sugar fruits like durian, longan, lychee, grapes, and melon should be avoided as much as possible to prevent significant blood sugar fluctuations. Managing diabetes requires comprehensive dietary and lifestyle adjustments, and making reasonable fruit choices is just one part of it. Diabetic patients should make the most appropriate dietary choices based on their health condition under the guidance of a doctor to maintain their health and quality of life. All right, that's it for today's sharing. Thank you for watching. I hope today's content has touched you in some way. For those who haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to click subscribe so that we can accompany you every day. Let's grow together, be happy together, and slowly grow old together. See you in the next episode. Don't miss it.